We are so pleased to welcome a special guest to our celebration today, distinguished RIT alumnus Alex Kipman. At an early age, Alex fell in love with what he called the art form of software. He sees software as the only art form in which the laws of physics can be easily and purposely ignored, making it the only medium where nothing is impossible. And with a little imagination and a lot of pixie dust, we wield signal from noise and make the improbable probable. Not all that long ago, he was sitting right where you are. In 2001, Alex graduated from the B. Thomas Golisano College of Computer Information Sciences with a degree in software engineering. And shortly after graduation, he went to work for Microsoft. Today, he is the general manager of incubation for the interactive entertainment business at Microsoft, where he has led 3 major innovations for the company. The Kinect sensor is one of his best-known creations, and he says anyone who has used his gaming system has experienced the seeming defiance of the laws of physics through this technology. The application of this hands-free gaming technology now extends into other areas such as healthcare and education. Alex is the primary inventor of the Kinect sensor and the holder of 60 patents, all issued since 2001. In 2012, Microsoft awarded him their Outstanding Technical Leadership Award, and his team earned the Outstanding Technical Achievement Award for their work on Kinect. And the IPO Foundation named him as the 2012 National Inventor of the Year. Alex's creativity and success as an innovator is an inspiration to all of us here today, and we are so proud to call him one of our own. Please join me in giving a warm RIT welcome to Alex Kipman.
Thank you. Thank you very much. President Dessler, Board of Trustees, and beautiful people of all kinds. Let me first, and above all, congratulate the graduates, their families and their friends. Thank the faculty, administration, and staff for tending, protecting, feeding the graduates during this amazing journey. And finally, let me express how deeply honored and thankful and humbled I am to be here today, 12 years after graduating from this amazing family called RIT. Welcome to graduation. Class of 2013, you have arrived. That was weak. Let's try that again. Class of 2013, you have arrived. What an amazing, once-in-a-lifetime event. Are we feeling the gravitas of the moment yet? Class of 2013, today, you represent humanity at its very best. Let's together wallow in that concept. Every single graduating student has the indelible right to make dreams reality. Graduation, like many other life events, is the process of turning a page and opening a brand new chapter. In every case, that new chapter can yield the next profound revolution in knowledge and life as we know it. How can anyone be prepared for the infinite probabilities that ensue, where there is no means of testing which decision is better, since there is no basis for comparison? I can only answer that question with a quote from the great master Michelangelo, who said, "The greatest danger for most of us is not that our aim is too high and we miss it, but that it is too low and we actually reach it." Class of 2013, please do not fall in the trap of only committing to what's predictable. One of the things we are too often measured on is success. Sometimes this is exclusively what we are measured on. Instead, measure yourself by your failures. If you're not failing, and if you're not failing often, you are not trying hard enough. Think of failure as a stepping stone to ever greater success in life. Failure is not an end, but rather it is a bridge for future success. Resilience and the ability to quickly rebound from failures renew you and make you more balanced, more creative, and ultimately lead you to a more fulfilling life. Do not let fear hold you back. Fear of failure, fear of ridicule, fear of not knowing. When you want to accomplish something disruptive, you have to take risks. Revolutions in knowledge and life as we know it require this. I would not be here today without having taken risks, without having been ridiculed, without having failed, without having spent the majority of my life dealing with the unknown. Graduates, you represent humanity at its very best. Defy the impossible and refuse to fear failure. For a moment, imagine what you will be able to accomplish if you knew failure didn't matter. Graduates, the world needs you to not be boring. Welcome to the rest of your life. Class of 2013, you have arrived. How does it feel to be free? Today, you are not only free, but most importantly, you are free to achieve and free to find purpose. Freedom, however, is only part of the story and half of the truth. In the yin and yang of life, freedom is the yin, whose yang is responsibility. Graduates, it is your responsibility to search for meaning. And this should be your primary motivation in life. Without meaning, life will feel empty. And with that emptiness comes aggression, addiction, and depression. In the words of heroes, save the cheerleader, save the world. Said differently, to save one life is to save the entirety of humankind. This starts with you in your life. You have been given rare gifts of intelligence, love, wonder, and laughter. You would not be here today without these. Recognize and acknowledge how special that makes you. Do not take these gifts for granted, and do not allow yourself to one day say life was not interesting. Class of 2013, the world expects you to do a lot better than that. Which brings me to the interactive part of this conversation. Are we ready? Beautiful people of all ages, clear your thoughts. Now, search inside for the happiest moment in your entire life. Hold on to that moment. Is that magic moment in the first or second half of your life? If it's ever in the first half, you run the risk of one day looking back in regret. Half-life is a concept typically used for radioactive decay. But it also applies to people, people's lives, and really your life. Imagine being 60 years old and the happiest moment in your life happened before you were 30. Imagine being part of the graduating class of 2013 and that moment happened before you were 11. Next time you see a 10-year-old, ask him or her this very same question, and I guarantee you their answer won't be before they were 5. Life is constantly knocking at your door, asking you for meaning. We are all born predisposed to live life to the fullest. Enriching and fulfilling experiences surround us. Do not let the machinery of modern society cloud your vision. Do not allow consumerism, corporations, or societal dogma get in the way. This is all noise. You need to focus on the signal in life. If the happiest moment in your life ever falls in the first half of your life, ask yourself if you have given up doing what you love. You must slowly but relentlessly wipe from your psyche every trace of the alluring but insupportable past and build a new set of dreams and behaviors on a more present basis. A basis that is not supported by money alone, but places a higher priority on a healthy body that is allowed to exist without stress and threats of today's society. Do you still have a heartbeat? If so, you can do something about it. It is time to reestablish these eternal values. We don't simply exist. Instead, we decide what our existence will be. Quantum physics teaches us that infinite probabilities exist at any point in time. And through the process of measuring, we destroy all options and we create the present. In other words, humans are ultimately self-determining. You, and you alone, get to decide from moment of time to moment of time what you will become in the next moment. By the same philosophy, all of us, at any instance, have the freedom to change. There is much wisdom in the words of Nietzsche. He who has a why to live for can bear almost anyhow. Graduates, never give up on what you really want to do. The world needs you to keep dreaming ever bigger dreams. Afraid others won't get it? Vision, by definition, is something most people cannot see. Otherwise, we would not call it vision. We would call it common sense. Does that give you butterflies in your stomach? Now you know you're doing it right. Embrace that fear you feel within. Make sure that as you live life, that you are always running towards something and never find yourself running away from something. Believe in yourself. Take the leap and jump off the cliff. Afraid you're not going to survive? Only mediocrity is sure of itself. So take risks and focus on what you love, which brings us to love. Class of 2013, above all, you must love. Be unwavering about love. Be unapologetic about empathy. Above all, be loyal to those around you who believed and were willing to jump off that cliff with you. Being competent at love is quite different from being wise about it. Over the years, I have seen people take one of two paths: the competent one or the wise one. In the competent path, you superficially flow through relationships. In the wise path, you use your experience, knowledge, and understanding to make meaningful and profound relationships. Love is what you really know in your heart and in your gut. It is not logical, but it is both real and true. True knowledge comes from feeling and experience. It is not quantifiable, and you cannot learn it from a book. But you know when you love another human. You know when you're moved by a book. by music, or a sunset. These feelings bring you inner peace, not because someone has listed all the good characteristics of the person you love, or explained the sentence structure in the book, or the mathematical precision of the music, or the light waves of the sunset, but because you experience it, you feel it. Logic has nothing to do with it. In fact, the truth of knowing something is much more powerful, accurate, and trustworthy than linear processes of learning or understanding. Being a Kirk rather than a Spock is the most important and hardest lesson I have learned in my life. As most, I had to practically lose everything I have ever loved before I paid attention to this side of life. It was the year we shipped Connect. It was a turning point in my life, and it changed me forever. I had to confront the reality of being one of the lucky few that achieved a lifelong dream. And yet, I was empty inside, and my life had no meaning. Fortunately, I am lucky, and I have an enlightened aunt who loves me in the most absolute sense. She embraced me like only true mothers do, and she encouraged me to sit quietly and think for days in her off-the-grid farm in Brazil. I had to contrast the short-term excitement I was feeling with the impact it was having on my relationships, on my family, and on my character. I concluded that nothing in life compares to the warmth and care of spending a lifetime with a soulmate, watching a daughter grow and become involved in worthwhile endeavors and behaviors. I felt it, and I knew it, that if I chose wisely and loved deeply, she would grow up and one day come home, not as a matter of not having a job or needing support, but to enjoy and share holidays and life with us. Class of 2013, if you keep anything from today, keep the thought of being more Kirk rather than a Spock. It will serve you well, and it will help you to find meaning in life. Graduates, I close today with one heartfelt wish. I wish it for every single one of you. As a matter of fact, I will wish it 3 times in a row to ensure it actually sticks. I wish the graduating class of 2013 to be lucky. Now, for the second time, I'm going to ask all the parents, families, and friends to say it very loudly with me for the second time. Is everybody ready? I wish the graduating class of 2013 to be lucky. Now for the third time, I want everybody from behind me to the graduates to everyone around us to say it with all your energy to make sure it sticks for the rest of their lives. I wish the graduating class of 2013 to be lucky. Everything comes to lucky people. Lucky people do what they love and love what they do. Lucky people find meaning. Lucky people find love, prosperity, and health. Lucky people recover from fatal mistakes. Lucky people, when faced with a 50-50 decision in life, will always choose correctly. I wish luck for every single one of you. Thank you very much, and good luck.
Thank you so much, Alex, for sharing your thoughts with us today. We're so proud of you. We look forward to working with you to enhance both this place and society as a whole. It's a wonderful message. We do have a small token of our appreciation. And of course, it's a special RIT appreciation. You can pull it out and show it to people if you want, but try not to drop it. This glass piece was created by Clayton Hufford, and prior to attending RIT's College of Imaging Arts and Sciences to pursue a Master of Fine Arts degree in glass in 2008, Clayton's work experience exposed him to the traditional Italian techniques of glass blowing and the use of glass cane, creating striations of color in a piece. We hope you will enjoy this wonderful example of the creativity that is RIT's hallmark. Thanks very much.